Hello, this is Gavin Burns here from Capricorn Astrology software. I've just decided to create a short video just showing the 13 sign zodiac astrology features in Prometheus. I'd like to give a special thanks to Vasilis Kanatis, who distributes our software to the 13 sign zodiac astrology community. And I'd just like to take the time to go through some of the things that we've done. Prometheus is one of the only major, in fact I think it's the only major astrological software program that actually supports the 13 sign, which is a growing movement, which I have I've supported it from the beginning, from Prometheus was first released. I think that the whole concept of true sidereal Western astrology is a very interesting one to me personally. It doesn't and will not, in my mind, supplant the 12 sign zodiac method, but I think that it's a very exciting field of astrological research. And that, you know, I have a lot of ideas as to how it can and should evolve, which maybe I'll write an essay on later on. But right now I just want to focus on how to get the most out of Prometheus if you are interested in the 13 sign zodiac astrology primarily. So the first thing is how do you set up Prometheus to do 13 sign astrology by default? And the first port of call, I would say, would be getting the Prometheus settings to do that. So the best way is if you press F11 or you press on Prometheus settings. Sorry, it's actually the astrology settings, so it's F10. And in the astrology settings, you see that there's a set of chart profiles, and whichever one is set as being the default will be the one that's automatically applied. So what we'll do is we'll choose Zodiac 13, and we'll just say set as default, and we'll go yes. So whenever a new chart is created, it will now be the Zodiac 13 profile, which is set up for a sidereal zodiac according to Vasilis' specification. It uses the equal house system. Now some people might choose to use a slightly different house system with 13 sign work. They can do so. That actually eliminates the house system. What we'll actually do is, I suspect, just to give you an example how to do this, if you press edit, you can change the house system. So I usually use the Placidus system, so what we'll do is I'll just put it onto Placidus, or even Placidus extended. Okay. And you can set up, if you have a look at that there, you can set up other defaults. For example, the default wheel that's going to be used with 13 sign work. There are a whole bunch of 13 sign wheels that are in Prometheus according to standard specification, according to how Vasilis' spec, which he puts the vernal equinox at the top. So I think that was the one that was by default. We'll choose that one actually. Okay, and save. So that's the profile set up to be the default for 13 signs. There's one other thing, is that in point and click interpretation, you should set up, just make sure that Zodiac 13 position is on, and then you'll see the Zodiac 13 information there. You can also place text interpretation to make it so it's a 13 sign rather than a standard Zodiac interpretation. And do we have an interpretation for planets in Ophiuchus? I don't think we have that in this version. That's something that we've got on the burner to do for the next version, but so there'll be point interpretations except for points in Ophiuchus, so, but it will be according to the division, the delineation of 13 sign, if it's chosen that. We will be getting an Ophiuchus interpretation soon, but right now we'll just keep it at Zodiac, but just ensure that for point and click that 13 sign is on. Okay, so point and click just means that you point and click and then you get that information. Zodiac 13 house is one of the previous people that we worked with wanted a house system that divided the houses into 13 based upon the division of zodiacal signs. So I did that for him. That's why the house is in there. But that's what that is. I personally wouldn't use that, but the important thing is it gives the the Zodiac 13 position there for point and click. And what we'll now do is we'll now create a new chart. So we'll just call it test September, whatever. And you can see that since we've set 13 sign Zodiac to the default, all the settings are as we define them to be. We go OK, and so we've got it. We've got the 13 sign Zodiac wheel on by default now. And whenever a new chart is created, it will come up with this. If there's an existing chart like that and you want to turn it to 13 sign, it's very easy. What you do is you right click, you go apply profile and Zodiac 13, and all the settings will be applied, the sidereal and so on, and the house system. There is, as you can see, the house system doesn't actually work on this chart, and that is because it's according to Vasilis' spec. If you change the preview wheel design to one of the standard ones, the house system will appear on it. So I'll just do that and then show that off. So that's it. So again, this is another 13 sign wheel, but the house system according to Placidus Extended is now on that. So what we'll now do is I'll now have a look at some of the other things that we've got. There are a few pages relating to 13 sign work. If you double or left click or you press view chart, it will bring up the set of pages. At the bottom of that we have a set of Zodiac 13 pages that give various data. You can bring it up, have a look. And we have there the list of planets and so on, and it's all in the Zodiac 13 system. I don't think there are any planets in Ophiuchus here. The other thing is that the Ophiuchus symbol, right now we're using the Phi symbol. If you'd like to change that, then you can. There are two symbols that are commonly used for Ophiuchus. If you go to sorry, I just went there. I went to Astrology settings, clicked on that, and then if you go to screen and printer display, you can change the symbol, and then there's the other Ophiuchus symbol there that can be chosen. So I'll just change it to that. Have a look. Yeah, so it's changed there. So the symbol can also be chosen. The one other thing that's very cool is that we do, and I strongly believe that the 13 sign movement will evolve into a Western true sidereal Zodiac astrology movement, where what's going to be looked at are the constellations as a whole, and hopefully new astrological basis constellation boundaries will be discovered and will be used, so that the actual boundary of a constellation, based upon my initial idea, is based upon star brightness and strength. And you can then see, for example, you can see that Ophiuchus is rising on the eastern horizon at this point in time, and that's going to have a strong effect. But you can also see certain other constellations rising on the horizon, such as Vulpecula, Cygnus, and so on. And hopefully all of these things will be brought in and can be interpreted at the same time. Star parans, which is to look at which star is rising simultaneously with a planet. We can also look at constellations as a whole for that. But generally, if any star that's on the eastern horizon is usually an important factor in judging a nativity, if you're going to bring all the factors in, if you're interested in stellar astrology. So hopefully in the future we'll move from just star interpretation, which has been done from antiquity. We can move to looking at constellations as a whole and how they affect things. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to expand, the 13 sign system in the future, from just looking at the 13 signs placed upon the zodiac to looking at all signs as a whole, all constellations as a whole, and being able to see what's rising and what's having an effect. But right now, as we're just looking at the constellations, the planetarium. I just wanted to show that the Ophiuchus is in there. Scorpio, the different 13 sign specification, varying lengths of the signs is in the planetarium also, if you're interested in that, and that's one of the best features that we've got. So, and this also works in the star globe. It's not just the planetarium. What works in the planetarium works in the star globe. They're basically just the same thing, just looked at from a different perspective. From the star globe, you look at things from the outside, and the planetarium from the inside. So I think that's it. I think, have we done anything else on 13 signs? I think that's it. I think one thing that's maybe interesting to notice is that there's a lot of places in Prometheus where you're asked about the astrology system that you want to use, and that is and an example of that was seen earlier when we looked at the point and click interpretations, but you can see that in other places as well. So one of the big strengths of Prometheus is that it is an extremely customizable program, and the reason why I wanted to create it so customizable as it is because pretty much every astrologer has their own opinion as to how they want to do things. Once they get beyond a certain level, they start forming a lot of their own opinions, and they want their own set of planets, their own colours, their own types of charts, types of pages. And I designed Prometheus so that people could create that. And a lot of the times when you start to get into really the customization of Prometheus, you start using the page and wheel designer and so on, you'll find that there are a lot of places where you can choose the astrology system that can be applied, and 13 sign is one of those. I think that's the other thing that's really worth noticing. So thank you very much for watching. If you've watched, I hope you get a big benefit out of it for those who are interested in the 13 sign movement. Hopefully, it's something that's going to be moved forward. I know that a lot of people have an interest in it. Even I, who focus almost exclusively on traditional 12 sign zodiac astrology, I see where it's going in the future, and it's got a lot of there's a lot of interest behind it, certainly from me. So thanks very much for watching, and peace be with you.